Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your weekly Bitcoin analysis for the week of Monday, March 9th, 2026. It's all big picture analysis. There's no 3 to 5 day swing trades in here. This is more like 3 to 5 week out to 3 to 5 month moves. And I can go back to January when we closed back below this long-term 5-year channel top by a full 1% margin. That set off a significant sell signal of equal, if not actually greater importance, was the simultaneous settlement below a rising roughly 3-year channel bottom that is now at 88,983. So on any rally that may play out later in the year into the upper 80s, it is this former channel bottom that I would use as an area to take profits on a long position and consider playing the short side as we move into later year. If we were to close in the coming months back above 88,983, I would then expect a return to this 122,433 long-term wave count, basically taking the 21 high, subtracting from it the 22 low, and then adding it back to the 21 high. That is the full swing and exhaustion point where the market reaches a balance longer term. And we obviously tested this area back in July and August and again in October of last year, and we fell away. And then in January set off this sell signal below 88,983 that came very close to reaching what I consider to be kind of the granddaddy of support for Bitcoin as we move through 26 and 27. This is a 10-year channel bottom, 59,249, that we've yet to actually test, but is a level that I think can absorb selling on a long-term basis. That is to say, through 26 and even perhaps through the rest of the decade, we can round up from here nicely as we move through time. If we were to close below not only 59,249, but also there is a rising speed line that we have at 57,918. Now, I don't expect to even see these levels this week, but they certainly remain in play over the next few weeks. The upper 50,000 area is a base of support, as I say, that can contain annual selling pressures, possibly decade-long lows, and from here we can round up. But if we do close below 57,917 at the end of a week, then I see a continued erosion. Believe it or not, I do think that this high area, the 2017 and this low from 22, this mid 10,000 to upper 10,000 region in play. How long would this take? This could take 3 to 5 months. This could take a full year, depending on volatility. But yeah, I do think Bitcoin loses its luster as a speculative instrument, into 26, 27, 28, if we were to close below this upper 50,000 area. Until then, solid bottom picking territory. If you're long Bitcoin, I think personally you can stay long Bitcoin above 57,917 to 59,249 because from here we can recover. Now, near-term recovery, anticipating a return to 88,983. First off, before I leave this page, just know that this is kind of a 3 to 5 month buy opportunity in the upper 50s, anticipating from here upward rotation back to this channel bottom, which, by August will be in the upper 90s. And that is kind of the play right now. If you can buy the upper 50s, you're holding out for the upper 80s now, climbing into the upper 90s later this year. Now, whether we actually see the upper 80s sooner than that comes down to closing above 74,412, which is this low from April of 25. You also have this high from March of 24. They're in a very close proximity to each other, 73,791 to 74,412, as it did a couple of weeks ago, can contain weekly highs quite possibly into April trade. And from here, we remain in easy reach over the next month or so of this significant 59,249. If we close this week above 74,412, I don't think we'll see 59,249 anytime soon, but rather within a month or two of doing so, I would expect upward continuation recovery into this 88,983 area. And so I think you can go long Bitcoin with a settlement this week above 74,412 and hold out over the next month or two if you're a near-term trader for this upper 80,000 will be in the 90s before we know it. Is there anything else to say? I'm going to just kind of finish with the U.S. dollar index. We still remain bearish below 98.51. We're just not below 98.51 right now, this 18-year channel bottom. This is a monthly chart, by the way, a monthly chart that goes back some 25, 27 years. So we did enter a long-term sell signal in January, when we closed below this for the first time. Now we're back above it, but the month is young. And what I mean by that is it's just, this is the week of March 9th. There's plenty of time for the index to ease back and close yet again below this channel bottom, holding on to that sell signal that I think over the next year or less should yield the upper 80s. Another 10% break in the U.S. index. Dollar index is anticipated over the next full year or sooner, like we saw from January of 25 to basically June of last year. Now, if we do close above 99,084, adjust the opposite. That is a reversal, and I would expect roughly, and I can draw it out here, this channel bottom that is in the 108s. Actually, it's in the 109s. This would be expected if we were to close above it. You can see this, actually. I don't know why I'm spending so much time. I did put out a U.S. dollar index video analysis last week on the free Wicked Stocks YouTube channel that you're on right now, so you can check that out if you like. You'll find it. Just browse a little bit, and it's a recent video. So I think that pretty much summarizes it. I'm going to leave you with this image of Bitcoin. This says really everything. This is your long-term and your mid-term pivot points as already described. Please click like, share, subscribe. I will be back next week with another update on Bitcoin. You have a great week.